director and he says, okay, we're going to set it in New York in 2024. That's going to just kind of blow your whole concept out of the water, isn't it? So you kind of have to take what you can, listen, and then kind of roll with it during these production meetings. But the big thing you need to do, this is one of the big words you're going to run into. It's called collaboration.
We did Oedipus in space.
Did you really? Here?
Yeah, no. No.
Too funny.
Okay.
Ah, I love it. So collaborating means that hopefully the ideas that you have with your creative team, your other designers, like you help build a better production. Like if you're given something for an idea, then you can say, oh, well, if we're going to do Oedipus in outer space, then I have this great idea. What if we do, you know, this star background and all this kind of stuff, but then your costume designer might say, oh, no, I want to set it on the surface of the planet because then we could do these great costumes. And part of that is negotiating and coming up with the best idea for the show. Like, where do you want to set it? What is the setting like? How do costumes contribute to that? How does sound contribute to that? And how does lighting contribute to that? So you want to be open to other ideas, and you want to be able to kind of bounce off those ideas and come up with even better ones, if you can. That's the idea of collaboration. Hopefully, if you have a good team, it just kind of escalates into this great idea and this great concept, and everything keeps getting better and better. So that's the idea with collaboration. Then, so production meeting, and then you get into rehearsals. So at this point, the cast is rehearsing. Ideally, you attend what's called a run-through. Sorry, I think that's hyphenated, run-through. So back in the day, when they had things like resident lighting designers, you might be there for more of the rehearsal process. But we've gotten into this place where kind of time is money. And if you're spending too much time at rehearsal when you could be designing other shows, then you're not making money, right? So one of the big things I do is I don't go to smaller rehearsals when they're doing just small chunks of the show. And if any of you are actors, you know, you rehearse little chunks of the show and then you put it all together, right? And you do what's called a run-through, which means doing a rehearsal that does the entire show. So most of the designers will attend a run-through or a designer run-through.
So in that stage, there is also the costumes that are going to be all there and all stuff?
Yeah, so at this stage, people will have developed, while the cast is doing all the rehearsals, they've probably developed the costume concept, the set concept, and all that kind of stuff. And by the time you're seeing a designer run through, as a lighting designer, ideally what you've done is you've gone to visit the shops. You've taken a look. So visit shops, I'm going to say. So you want to look at, so that would be the costume shop or the scenic shop, and ideally you're looking at colors and fabrics, and different, you know, if they have pieces built, all that kind of stuff. So whatever you can see, you see at this point. So you go visit, you take a look at drawings, hopefully they have color swatches for you, and you get that kind of an idea. So what I'll do is, like, sometime around the week of the run-through, I'll pop my head into the costume shop and go see Christy and say, hey, what do the costumes look like? And it's kind of neat to see them in process, and you can see swatches, and then it might make you reconsider a color. Like, one of the things we look at when we look at color theory, which is a lecture we'll do in a little bit, is that if you put certain colors on certain fabrics, that color can disappear and not pop out as much as you want it to. Like, if you have a red dress and you put green light on it, do you think the red dress is going to pop, or do you think it might look maybe blackish?
It's gonna pop, I think.
If you put green light on the red dress?
Yeah.
Nope, probably not. If you put red light on the red dress, then that red dress is going to pop like crazy, isn't it? But if you put green light on it, it's probably going to look drab, or it's going to kind of disappear and look blackish, that kind of thing. And that's one of the things you need to be conscious of. So you walk into that costume shop, and you're thinking about using green light everywhere, and you see that red dress, you might say, okay, do we need that dress to disappear and not be red for most of the show, or do we need that red dress to pop? And it's one of those things that can make you reconsider what you're doing for color in certain scenes or throughout the show. So that's one of the reasons you want to make sure you know what's going on in all the other departments. Okay. You also, at this point, especially when you're seeing the run-through, you're probably going to take what's called blocking notes. Does anybody know what blocking is? Blocking is the idea of where actors are on stage. We talked about the stage directions a little bit. So when I'm watching a designer run through, and there's, say we're doing something like Romeo and Juliet, and there's the big monologue or something, and they're down over here. So I'll say, you know, Romeo's monologue down left, that kind of thing. And you know that that's a special moment that you might want to highlight. So I'm taking blocking notes. He's down left at this scene. And then halfway through his speech, he crosses to center. And he looks up and he pleads with God. And I'll take a blocking note about that and say, oh, he's pleading with God here, and I want to have like this God light or something. You know, things like that. You take blocking notes that tell you the actor's positions on stage where you might need to do key moments of lighting. Juliet's on the balcony. The balcony is upstage right. And again, remember, stage directions are from the actor's perspective looking at you as audience members. So if I say the balcony is upstage right, I'm not going to be over here, right? So I take notes like that. And some of that I may know from looking at the scenic design and the scenic plans. But when I actually see the run-through, it just reaffirms where